Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to City Scrapper 1000 subscribers celebration hop. Congrats Laura on reaching that milestone, and I'll go ahead and leave Laura's channel linked below so you can go on over, check out her beautiful designs and congratulate her as well. Now today I am going to be doing a layout using these two 4x6 photos here and adding some mixed media to my layout as well. And I am going to be following Laura's two suggestions for our layouts. One was to document something that brings you joy, and in this case, it's someone, and it's my daughter. I am also going to follow her second suggestion, which would be to scrap lift one of her designs. So up next, I'll show you guys the layout that I'm going to be scrap lifting, and you can see on Laura's design there's a lot of mixed media on the background, lots of splatters. You can see there's florals as well, and it goes in a diagonal design. So I'm going to begin my layout here by matting both of these 4x6 photos on some white cardstock, and next up I'll go ahead and mat it on some black cardstock as well. Now I will have everyone participating in the hop today linked in my description box. Be sure to go on over and check out their layouts and be inspired to create really lovely designs. And here I am going to go ahead and mat it now on my black cardstock. I will also have the items I used today linked down below as well. And you can see I have that really bright pink pattern paper on the background there, and that is from Amy Tan, I believe. I cannot remember the collection it's from, but that information will be below. And I'm going to start off by trimming this down to 11.5 by 11.5. So right now I'm just removing a 1/4 inch of two sides of this pattern paper. So I will be matting this pattern paper on some white cardstock, but I first wanted to add my mixed media, and that way if I have any warping at all on my pattern paper, it will help smooth it out once I adhere to that white cardstock. So I pulled out this beautiful Flourish stencil. This is from Dina Wakley. It's one of my favorite, and I love using it on my art journal layouts, but I thought it would be really pretty on this layout today as well. And a lot of it will get covered up, but you definitely see bits and pieces of it peeking out, which is exactly the look I was going for, because if too much of it was visible, it would just be a little bit too busy considering the pattern paper on the background and the other embellishments I'm going to add in later on. So here I'm adding some to the top. I'm trying to keep it in a diagonal design like Laura's layout, and I'm going to add it in 3 different places. And you can see here I'm using some white texture paste together with my Nuvo Spatula. I'm pushing it through the stencil and just skimming off the excess. And next I'll go ahead and add some to the bottom. Now once I have my texture paste on my background, I'm going to go ahead and clean off my tools before putting them away. You definitely want to clean your tools after using texture paste. You do not want it to dry on there. So I'm just using a damp baby wipes here, a moist baby wipes, and going over my stencil there. You can see how easy that spatula was also to clean up. So I get questions sometimes, how do you clean your stencils? And that's all I do. I use a moist baby wipes. So next I am adding some splatters, some white splatters using some acrylic ink. And this is my favorite for adding splatters. They're very opaque, as you can see. I'm adding some larger ones and some tiny ones as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and help dry this all of this mixed media. You can see I'm also drying the back. If you get some warping while drying the front of it and you dry the back, it helps straighten it out. Now I am going to go ahead and grab some embellishments. I'm using a lot of florals on this layout today. I'm using the Sunkissed from Cocoa Vanilla there. And this is a pack with only florals. I'm separating them right now and picking out the pinks and the yellow florals. I have some pinks with orange as well. Actually, it was a yellow with orange, and I do not want that. I just want the yellows and the pinks. So I'm adhering my pattern paper on my white cardstock now, and you can see there's hardly any warping at all on that background. And here I'm using some art glitter glue to go ahead and adhere my first photo. Now the second photo, I want to add a tiny bit of dimension with my foam adhesive. So I'm going to go ahead and add a few strips of that on the back of that photo now. And this is my large foam adhesive roll here. I've had it forever. It's lasting me a long time. I think I got that from Amazon. And I love adding dimension to my layouts. It definitely adds a lot more interest than if you was to add everything flat on your background. So I'm going to position that and adhere it, and then I'll move on to embellishing. So I'm sorting my florals right now. I have a pile with my leaves. I'm sorting the florals into large, medium, and small piles because I want to add these onto my background as evenly as possible. So I'm going to be focusing on three main areas: the bottom right, the top left, and also the bottom left. So I'm going to go ahead and play with these and move them around a lot until I find exactly where I want these florals to be. And lastly, I'm going to tuck in my leaves. So to adhere these to my page, I am going to be using some more art glitter glue and also some foam adhesive because some of these floral pieces are going to be popped up and adding some dimension. So I'm going to begin by popping up the ones that I want to add on my photos first. And then I just keep the other ones in place and just add a little bit of adhesive there. And you can see my first clusters here. Now some of those leaves I go back and I do add some foam adhesive to pop up just the edge of the end of the leaf, and you'll see me do one in just a little bit. And here I'm just cutting it in half, just getting a little piece, and I'm going to tuck it right to the edge of the leaf. So I go ahead and move around my page and my clusters, adhering them to the background and popping up the ones that I want up on foam tape. And once I have that in place, I will work on my title. Now for my title, I am pulling out some puffy stickers here. These are from Vicki Boutin, I believe. And I wanted to add the words "You are beautiful" in black. I think it adds a really nice contrast to the layout, and it also ties in with the black mat behind my photo. But you can see these are stickers, and I was not quite sure where I want them to be, so I'm going to go ahead and leave them on the clear sheet that it's on and fussy cut them out and place them on my layout and try to figure out where I want them to be. That way they're not stuck down and I have to keep pulling them up. So I really love how it looks here, but I decided to go ahead and tuck them into my clusters, and I love it a lot better. So now that I have them where I want them to be, I could go ahead and remove them from the sheet it's on and adhere them to my background. Now for the word beautiful, you can see I'm just changing things up a bit there. I pulled out one of the florals and stuck it on my photo instead. And the word beautiful, I am popping up on some foam adhesive. Now the other one, the roll was a bit too hard to cut into tiny pieces, so I pulled out those really small circles that I had, and those work perfectly with those thin letters. So I'm just adding a few more of these florals, and this one I'm going to add directly on my photo. And here I'm just adding in this word phrase. I believe this is also from the same collection by Amy Tan as the pattern paper is. And it says, love yourself. I'm adding in a few more splatters. I wanted a few big ones in some areas here. So I'm just adding those in. I'm loving how this layout turns out. So I'm adding in some black Nuvo drops right now, and when I was done, it just looked a bit too much. So I go in with my spatula, and I'm gonna remove some of the black splatters, but of course it left a black residue on my background. Now to cover that up, I'm gonna go in with some white Nuvo drops. And once I added them on those spots, it covered it up completely. And I think it looks a lot better now. The black Nuvo drops before was just a bit too much. So there I popped up Laura's design so you can compare it to my layout. I really love how this turned out. And here I'm going to give you some close-up looks and some still shots as well. And I'm going to bring it up to the camera as much as I can so you can see the dimension on the background. I hope you guys enjoyed the process today. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I hope you take a look around. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing today. Hit the notification bell, and that way you'll know once I upload new videos. Check out all the links to everyone else participating in this hop down in my description box. And I want to thank you all for watching today. So until my next video, bye.